This is the new and improved Prota Deluxe cabin tent from DYNADUCK Outdoors. And today I'm doing a full tutorial of a setup and tear down of this awesome tent. I'm gonna go step by step in detail and show you a few tips and tricks that I've learned along the way that go beyond the standard instruction manual, so stay tuned. Obviously this is the finished setup here, but we're gonna roll it back to the beginning and I'm gonna go through the setup for you and then we'll come back and we'll do the tear down and pack up together. So let's roll it back to the beginning. All right, so first things first, once you get a nice flat site where you're going to be building your tent, you want to go ahead and throw your ground sheet down. This is an optional accessory that you can purchase in addition to the tent, but it's definitely recommended. I think it's a great add-on. It's going to extend the life of your tent, but also it just helps you to keep your tent more clean. It's a lot easier to take the ground cloth and shake it out and get the dust and dirt and mud off of it and clean that off with a hose at home or something like that, versus having to clean the tent if you have that directly on the ground. That has 4 of the smaller stakes that go with it. You just want to put those in really just to kind of hold it down while you're putting your tent together so it doesn't blow around on you, because that's going to be held down with the tent obviously once you get that on there. So we got the tent unpacked and we're just going to unroll it onto the ground cloth here and then we'll get the stakes. All right, so let's grab those stakes. I always love using my DYNADUCK canvas tarp as a staging area when I'm laying all this out, keeps it up out of the dirt and dust. DYNADUCK sends these awesome toolkits with all of their tents for the stakes and the mallet. And these stakes are full-size rebar stakes. Virtually impossible to bend when you're hammering them in. So let's just grab 4 right now and go tapping the corners of the tent. Tip that I've learned so far when setting up this tent is that you don't want to tighten it all the way when you're first tapping in the corners. You're gonna come back and tighten those up after you get the spring bar set. Just get it so that the wind isn't gonna pick up the corner and blow it over on you. You'll see in a minute why that's important to not tighten it all the way. When you're tensioning the spring bar, it's helpful to have a little bit of give in that. Now, you may notice that I already have my door flap open, and that's intentional. I left it open last time I had it set up. By opening some doors or some windows, you're going to make it easier for you to prop up the spring bar when you're not fighting the vacuum of the tent trying to suck the air inside. Okay, now we can go ahead and stage our poles on our tarp here so we can see what we're working with. All right, so the way I like to start off is getting your spring rods and getting those set into the sleeves. Find the sleeves at the corner of the silver sunblock material. Insert 2 spring bars on each side of the tent. And then do the other side. Then that kind of sets and stretches out the materials for you so that you see where you need to set your T-bars. Make sure the side with the knob goes down. You can read DYNADUCK face up right there. And then insert your spring rod into the T-bar, like so. Then do the other side. Before you test the other side, go ahead and slide the support sleeve tube down all the way on the other T-bar so that that's in place and ready to go. Then you can put the other 2 spring bars in. Remember, there should not be tension on them at this point. They should be nice and easy to put into the T-bar. Now go ahead and stretch out the material a little bit, make sure it's flat before you go to connect the T-bar and set the tension. Now you should be good to set the tension. Make sure you are not sitting on the tent material. Another benefit of having the door open is you can put yourself inside the tent so that you're not weighing down the roof material that you're going to be tensioning here. Give that a little shove there. And the other side. And then go up and then press it down and it will set the tension just like that. Then you bring the support sleeve back over on top of that connection until it clicks in. There you go. Now you've got your spring rods set and you're good to raise the tent. Next up, you're ready to set your 2 side posts. And here's another tip I have for you. I believe the instruction manual shows to connect the bar to the T-post initially, which I think is fine if you have 2 people to set it up. But if you're setting it up solo, I have found that it's actually easier to go ahead and set the pole into the pin on the bottom first, then raise up the spring bar to meet the side posts. Let me show you. So this is where that vacuum effect really comes into play. Give it a second, raise it up. And then you can easily use your body weight to lean against it, push that underneath the T-post where it needs to go. Now let's do the other side. Now you can see the tent's really starting to take some shape, it's starting to come together. And honestly, we're almost done at this point. So get our second side post here, stick it into the pin at the bottom, like so. Reach in and grab our other T-post, raise it up, and there we go. Now you can see here what I'm talking about. It popped a little bit when I was putting that last post in and pulled on the tension on this hook. So that would have been a lot harder to get that tension and get that pole underneath the T-post there if these had all been staked in tightly and securely. So now that we got the structure of the tent up, we can go back around and secure all the stakes, make sure the bottom of the tent is all nice and tight and taut. Here's another reason to do the 4 corners loosely to begin with, because I found that it helps to stake out the middle of the tent first and then work your way to the corners, and you're going to get a much more tight tie down that way. Come around and do backside middle. Now we can go around and re-secure the 4 corners, and you can see how much wiggle room there is there to now come back and tighten. So you want to do that after you get all the others. Ten stakes around the bottom of the tent, and there we go. We got the main structure of the tent up and intact and good to go. And now all that's left is to guy out the awning. So let's do that. Okay, to guy out the awning, you're gonna need a pair of these poles, a pair of these heavy duty guy out ropes, and a pair of stakes. And if you're not familiar with doing this, the first time can be a little bit confusing with how the guy out works. Here's what you do. The side that is already looped is going to be the side that loops around the top of the awning, and I'll show you that. And then at the tensioner, you're going to want to pull a bite out of it so that there's a loop down to where that loose knot is. You're going to be able to stake it out around that bite, that loop there. So I'll show you how that works. Grab the first corner of your awning and find the grommet, and then stick the tip through the grommet, and then take that loop there and just place that over the top of that spike. And that's what's gonna be used to guy it out. You don't need the pole super tight yet. Really, you want it kind of leaning against you while you're getting it guyed out. Straighten them up in a minute. Get your pole nice and straight before you tension it. These little tensioner devices are ingenious. You just grab it to where the main guide line is going to be going straight, and then you can release some tension with one hand and pull it tight just like that. That ain't going anywhere. And then voila, you are good to go. And then what I like to do is just add that canvas tarp staging area we had over there, and the staging area becomes the front porch for the Prota. Helps keep it a little bit more clean, makes it look classy, feels nice and homey. Then you've got a nice spot where you can just start to throw all your gear. By the way, these oversized White Duck Philios bags are fantastic for transporting all the gear I need for a family of 5. Well, sadly, all good things must come to an end, and it is time to break down this beauty. So I'll show you that process, and then I will talk through how to best get this packed back away, stored for next time. All right, so once you get your tent all cleaned out and swept out on the inside, then make sure you leave the door unzipped, like I said, so that next time you set it up, it's not gonna vacuum on you. Now what I like to do is do the same process in reverse and take out the 3 middle stakes first on each side and then go back to get the corners. And a helpful trick that I've learned is to use one of the extra stakes to leverage if the stake is really stuck in there. It helps to get some leverage on it to be able to pull it out. If you stick it underneath and then you can wedge it out of there, and then usually if you pull it straight out of that same hole, it's gonna come out way easier than you would think it would for how stuck it is. Okay, so now it's time to release the tension on the spring rods, and this is probably the only tricky part to breaking the tent down. So you want to slide the support tube down to one side. So click the little button underneath there and slide it all the way down. Find where they connect. There you go. Pop it up and apart, and then you're able to release the tension on the spring rods and pull those out. Now we're ready to roll this thing up and pack it away in the bag. A couple of things to keep in mind with that is if it is not a clear, warm, bone dry day like this, you need to make sure that the tent is dry before you pack it away for long-term storage. So if it's at all damp from morning dew and you don't have time to dry it out at camp, you want to make sure that when you get it home, you unroll it in the garage or set it up in the backyard. You want to make sure the thing is thoroughly dry before you pack it away within a few days of being home. Otherwise, you're going to get mold and mildew, and that is something that can void the warranty on these things. Treat your tent well, and it's going to last you for years and years. I do appreciate the White Duck gives a very generously sized stuff bag, so it doesn't have to be packed away like it was from the manufacturer. Roughly, you want to fold it into thirds. At this point, take your bag and see how much room you have to work with, because you want to take advantage of as much length as you can so that it's not as wide getting rolled up. So there you go, all nice and packed up. And another benefit of having that ground cloth is, just like you saw, I was still having to dust it off as I was rolling it up. But also that way I'm not sitting there rolling it up, walking around in the dirt. Helps you stay a little bit cleaner, keeps your tent a little bit less dusty and dirty than it would otherwise be if you were directly on the ground. So all that's left now is pick up the tarp and the ground cloth, shake those out, and we're ready to hit the road. Let's do that. By the way, my name is Adam from the Dad Camps YouTube channel, where I talk about gear, camping, and getting outside with your kids. And if you like those things, you can check us out in the description. But huge thanks to White Duck for the collab today. Again, this thing comes in 3 different sizes, so go check it out with the link in the description. See which one might fit your needs. Go grab one, upgrade your camping kit, and get out there and have some fun. And if you'd like to check out more details about the features and functions of the Prota, you can check out that video right here.